All right, welcome to our next activity for our virtual field day. This is activity number 3. Our activity today is called skee ball. Now, some of you might have been to an arcade before where you take the ball and roll it all the way up to the targets to try to get it in the different spots. That's kind of what we're doing today with equipment from our own house. So the different pieces of equipment you'll need today is rolled up socks like we did in our first activity, but you'll need about 5 of them. So if you can get about 5 rolled up socks, it just gives you more turns. So if you don't have 5, you'll just keep going and getting those socks after you finish your first turn. But the more socks you have, the more turns you have. So you'll need about 5 rolled up socks. You will also need 3 different targets to throw the socks into. The best option is for them to be different sizes. My targets today are a small pot, a big pot, and a laundry basket. So you can have whatever targets you want to throw them into. Maybe you have a hula hoop or you have a bucket, anything that you want. Just make sure they're 3 different sizes to make it a little bit harder for you. So I'm going to show you really quick how to set up for skee ball so that we can get started. When it's your turn, you're going to take your socks and you're going to throw them at your target. You get 1 point for the small target, 2 points for the middle target, and 3 points for the big target. And if you have 5 socks, then you can go at different times to see what points you can get. If you're playing by yourself, try to beat your score. If you're playing with a partner, see if you can beat them and take turns. Ready? Let's see how skee ball works. Water game today for our virtual field day. This would be activity number 4. You will need different pieces of equipment. So our first piece of equipment that we need for our fill the bucket relay is you can have a sponge, which is what I have, or you can get a cup. But if you get a cup, make sure it's a plastic cup so that you can poke a hole in the bottom of it, because you want it to kind of be leaking a little bit when you run with it. So either a cup with a hole in it or a sponge. So I'm going to use a sponge for our game today. The other thing that you will need is a pot that is filled with water, or at least partially filled with water, a bigger pot filled with water, and then you will need a smaller pot that has no water in it, because this is the pot you're going to fill up. So I'm going to show you how to set it up so that we can get started pretty quickly. So for this game, for fill the bucket relay, I know it says fill the bucket and we're using pots, but it's still going to be a fun game. You're going to take your sponge or your cup with a hole in it, and you're going to run to that pot that has water in it. Once you get to the pot, you're going to put your sponge in the water, or you're going to put your cup in the water. Then you're going to run all the way back to your empty pot and either squeeze out your sponge or pour the water out into your pot. You want to fill up that pot as fast as you can. Now, again, water's going to be going everywhere. You might get wet, but it's going to be fun, especially if it's a hot day out. That would be the best. If you're playing by yourself, try to go as fast as you can and try to beat your time if you go 2 times. But if you're playing with a partner, you'll need 2 pots of water, 2 empty pots, and then 2 sponges or 2 cups with a hole in it, because you will be racing. And then you would want to be the first person to fill up your empty pot. Are you ready to see how it works? All right, let's play Fill the Bucket Relay.